Hello and welcome to Twerk Tuesday. In today's lesson, we are going to be working on incorporating the knees and the abductors into our hip isolations, including the whining that we did last week, as well as the hip pulses, the twerking action that we were working on in the rest of the series. I know that I had said in last week's lesson that we were going to be doing a practice routine today, but I did remember, no, there's actually one more concept that I want to introduce before we go into the practice routine to make it a more complete series, and that was this action. The reason that we incorporate the knees into our movements is that when we open the knees up into this position, it gives us more openness generally in the hip area. So it often makes it easier to isolate and go a little bit further in your movements, okay? So that's what we're gonna be working on today. Let's get right into it. I want you to put your feet underneath your hips, and you're just gonna bend your knees slightly so that your legs are nice and relaxed. And I want you to just push your legs out until you can't go any further, and then come back into neutral. And we're gonna push out and come back into neutral, and push out and just let the legs relax back into neutral. So we push and we relax, and we push and we relax. You wanna be careful that you're not bringing the knees in, we're just bringing them back into neutral. So we go out and neutral, out, neutral. If you're taking your weight out onto the outside edge of your foot when you do that, that's totally fine. Out, neutral, out, neutral, out, neutral, out, neutral. Okay, so we're gonna be incorporating this into our hip isolations in 3 different positions: standing with the hands on the knees, and down in our low squat or our grand plie. Okay, so we're gonna start standing. The first thing that I want you to do is you're gonna do this out and neutral, and when you push the abductors out, you're going to also pull the tailbone up, so that the knees going out happens simultaneously with the tailbone going up. The knees coming back into neutral is going to happen at the same time as I drop my tailbone underneath or contract. So I go push out, tailbone up, contract, neutral. Push out, tailbone up, contract, neutral. Out and neutral. And I'll do it facing away. We're gonna go out and neutral, and out and neutral, and push out and neutral, and tuck the tailbone underneath. Push out, tuck the tailbone, out, and tuck the tailbone. So this is just helping us coordinate these 2 actions happening at once. This isn't necessarily how they're going to be manifested. We're just working on getting the hips and the knees to move together. Now, we're going to keep that same dynamic of tailbone up as the knees go out, and tailbone underneath as the knees come back into neutral, but we're going to turn it into the whining action, the circle that we were creating in the last lesson. So I'm going to, depending on which side you're going to, like I said last time, I always go to the right. So as I shift my right side of my hip up, I'm going to start to open the knees, then I'm going to lift, and then as I go to the left, I'm going to start to close the knees back into neutral and contract. So I go open and close. So the first half of my circle, I'm opening the knees, and the second half, I'm closing the knees, or bringing them into neutral. Open and close. Open and close. Open and neutral, and open and neutral, open and neutral. Okay? We want to make sure that when we're doing this, we're keeping our center right in between our feet. If we are transferring our weight as we do our hip isolations, the knees are gonna kind of get stuck. So in order to have that full range of motion in the abductors, I do need to keep my center directly between my feet. I can't be transferring because then it will not have the right effect, okay? Now, we're going to do this with our pulsing action, okay? So we are going to take the knees out and we're gonna go up, down with the tailbone. Then we're gonna bring them back into neutral, up, down again. Up, down, up, down. Up, down, up, down. Up, down, up, down. And we take the knees out and neutral. And out and neutral. And out and neutral. And out and neutral. Okay? Now we're gonna do those same isolations, but with the hands on the knees. So just first, go ahead and bring your hands to your knees. Remember that we don't wanna be like this. You're gonna be pulling your shoulder blades down, and that's what puts the pressure into your hands on the top of your thighs. And just do that same action, out, center, out, neutral, open, neutral, open, neutral. Now we're gonna do the same thing we did first, open and tailbone up, neutral and tailbone down. Open and tailbone up, neutral and tailbone down. Open up, neutral down. Open up, neutral down. Open up, neutral down. Open up, neutral down. Now we are going to take that into our winding action. So we go open, side and up, neutral, side down. Open, side up, neutral, side down. Open, side up, neutral, side down. Open, neutral. Open, neutral. Open, neutral. Open, neutral. Okay, and now we're gonna do the same thing that we did with the twerking action. So we're gonna go open the knees and do up, down, close the knees, up, down, okay? Open, up, down, up, down. Up, down, up, down. Open and close and open and neutral and open and neutral and open and neutral. Okay, now the most difficult iteration of this, coming down into our deep squat. So like I said last week, you want to try and get your shoulders lined up over your heels so that your legs can be as relaxed as possible in this position, trying to kind of spread the toes out on the ground. And we're just going to get comfortable opening and closing in this position. Your feet do not have to turn here. We're just using those abductor muscles, okay? So now I'm gonna turn around. We're gonna do the same 3 exercises that we did. First, opening and lifting the tailbone, dropping, open and lift and drop, lift, and back into neutral. Lift, and neutral, and lift, and neutral, and lift, and neutral, and lift, and neutral. And take a little break if you need it. You can shake out, give your legs some love here. And now we're gonna take this into our circle. If you're having difficulties with your balance, you can hold on to something. If this position is not doable for you, you can continue to practice the other two, okay? So let's come back into our squat, get the shoulders lined up, and get my feet far enough apart here. You do want to have them kind of under your butt. And we go out and up, in and down, out and up, in and down, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, and in. And take a little rest. You wanna, I don't know about you, but for me, this really gets me in the thigh, or in the calves. Well, my thighs are fine. It's my calves that want to give out on me. Give them a little love if you need to. And we'll do our last one, which is our pulsing out in on the out and out in on the in with the knees. So we go out in, 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 up, down, up, down. I was saying it wrong. Up, down, and come up. Okay, so that is our lesson for this week. It is a difficult one. You can see why the strength, the mobility, the balance work is also important in helping us culminate all of these skills into good hip isolations and twerking. So next week, we will be using all of the concepts that we learned in this series and putting them into a practice routine for you so that you can continue to improve and work on all of these individual concepts in a flow. Until next time, keep dancing.
Thank you so much for watching. It means more to me than you know. Don't forget to subscribe so we can keep this going together. And when you're ready to go deeper with me, everything is waiting for you in the description below. You can join my Patreon community for exclusive weekly content, explore the dancer method if you're ready to transform the way you move and live, or come dance with me in person on one of my Mexico retreats. There's something for everyone at every level, wherever you are in your journey, and I would love to have you. See you soon.